This weekend I had a great time. I installed 9 extra panels here on the roof of the shed. All mounting parts came into this little box. Hard to believe? Just watch the video. I hope I sparked your interest. This is Frankie for easypowerwall.com. The project started with the research and selection of hardware. At the end I chose to work with ESDEC. It's lightweight aluminium, used by professionals and reasonably priced. I talked about this project with a long-time follower and professional Geert. He lives in the area and he had some leftover solar cable that I could have. Thanks, mate. As you can see, we have some works planned. This is the assistant to the manager, and we're gonna put some solar on the roof. It's a DIY, I've never done it before, so let's see how it works out. Fingers crossed. The profiles come pre-drilled, and you have to line them up with your metal roof, and then you have to drill 2 or 4 holes depending on the size of your solar panel. My panel is 165 by 1 meter, and I have to drill 4 holes to mount this plate to the metal roof. I just installed 1 solar panel, and the goal is to check how they will line up with the mounts of the roof. Specified in the spec sheet of your solar panel, but I mounted around 1 foot from the top of the solar panel, and the same for the bottom. To make the alignment consistent all over the metal roof, I will make a wooden block of 28 centimeter and another block here on the bottom of the roof of 39 centimeter. And then I can start mounting all these placeholders on the metal roof. I'm ready to go on the roof. I prepared my 2 blocks to make sure I have the distance correct and aligned for the top and the bottom. I have 2 holders, drilling machine, and these special screws to make sure everything is watertight and not have any water here in the shed. Let's see how this works. I'm ready to install the first solar holder. In an ideal world, you have at least 30 centimeter distance between the edge of the roof and the first panel, but I want to fit 9 panels, and then it's better to start from here. Also in the winter when the sun is low, I have most sun here in this corner of the roof. So I'll start from here. This is the... So let's check it. So it's very difficult with one hand, so I'll hand over the camera to the assistant manager. I don't know, it's very critical. As I said, I'm not experienced. It's my first DIY build, so I will do it as perfect as possible and as clean as possible. And this is right. Let's start with the installation of the second holder. Of course we use our top alignments, but now we have to be very careful with the distance. We measured 1 meter, and from center of the first holder to the center of the second holder should be 1 meter. So we have to install the holder here. We installed 2 solar holders so far. So as you can see, every 2 bumps we need to install the holder. Okay, lunchtime. With the top row installed, I will now start with the bottom row installation. For this purpose I made this bottom plate. Same rule as on the top layer. We'll put all these holders at the same height. Make sure you put your solar panel not too low, because with heavy rain the water will not arrive in the gutter but rather on the floor. I installed the ESDEC holders for the 9 solar panels. Well, I was surprised how easy it was. With the preparations of the top and the bottom measurement tool, with no experience whatsoever, this took less than 3 hours. Next step is preparing the cables. Before we put them on the roof, we need all our cables ready, because once the solar panels are attached, we have no longer access to the MC4 cables that are coming out of the solar panel. I got some solar cable. It's 4 square millimeter cable, and I will show you how easy it is to DIY the solar cable. This is the end of the solar cable. As you can see, it was not properly cut. That's why I use this tool. It's a wire cutter, and this creates clean, straight cuts in the cable. I really recommend this tool and brand, Laowa. You'll find a link also in the description of the video. And with one hand you can create a clean and straight cut in the cable. We undo the outer protection of the cable. It's 12 millimeter. The cable connected to the solar panel, the positive cable, was a male connector. So now we need a female connector. So this is very important. Male connector uses female bus. Female connector needs the male bus. Next tool that we need is an MC4 plier. Your cable goes into the connector, and that's it, you're good to go. To finish the installation, you insert the bus into the connector, push till you hear a click. Probably heard it. The tool. First hand tighten. So let's prepare some more. Maybe let's do a female one now. As you saw, I just insert the bus into the connector. You don't have to open these connectors to insert the bus. Just untighten them, insert the bus, hand tighten, and then use the spanners. Male connector means female bus, the larger one. The same 12 millimeter. Or let's start with a clean straight cut. You can see there are 3 positions where you can put the connector. I always use the middle one. And as you can see, it's very strong. You can't undo the connection. It's there forever. Now we take our male connector. insert the bus into the connector. Press hard till you hear a click. And there you are. And your connector is made. As simple as that. So I will prepare the other cables offline. Just finished preparing the 3 cable sets. But I think I can't install the panels today. It started raining, so it's most probably a job for tomorrow. Weather improved compared to yesterday. We have some nice blue skies. It's still pretty windy, and this might be an issue as an inexperienced solar builder, but let's hope for the best. So this is how we start at the first solar panel. We have our first clip installed. This here fits the solar panel, and this is the end cap that we will put in place once the solar panel is installed. It's important your first panel is aligned very well. If not, you will have issues with the other panels. So we'll take our time to have our first panel properly installed, and then we have to continue with the others. So we now close the loop with the 3 panels. This cable goes down to the PV combiner box. If this panel is installed, we have our first string of 3 installed, and everything went very smoothly, better than expected. When you finished installing a string, it's always good to check if you read the proper voltage. VOC is around 40 volts. Might be difficult to read. Let's hope for the best. And the 2 ends will be more difficult. Yeah, we read 118 volts. So this string is fine. String number 2 is done. I'm always installing the cables for the next panel here in this semi gutter that's created by the ESDEC profile. Don't forget, if you forget, you have to undo the connection, lift the panel and get the cable back. Another trick. I'm gonna show you how I make sure all panels align well. With the meter, you see it's stuck. Means the panel is a bit too high, so I have to lower it a bit, and if it slides from left to right, you know the panels are well aligned and you can attach them to the steel roof. To attach the last panel, we have this end cap. You have to shove this over the aluminium profile, which is not the easiest task. To wiggle a bit. To give the holder a twist. Give it a twist, put it over here. And we're done. This took less than 2 hours from 2 inexperienced builders. Frankie from easypowerwall.com, assistant to the manager Keanu. Thank you very much, Keanu. Great job. As you can see, the cables are hanging over the gutter. So now it's time to put a connector on the cable. As you can see, the cable here comes from the metal sheet. To protect the cable, I will add pieces of a flat tire, the inner tube from a tire, put it over the cable and attach it with 2 tie wraps. So this is how it's done. Inner tube with tie wraps. Overnight I had a great idea. I will put the MC4 solar cables here in this gutter. Plenty of room up to the solar combiner. And a bonus, it's not visible. Just make sure you put a marker on your cable so you know which cable corresponds with which cable. Make sure you have some overlink with the cable so you don't put any stress on the connector. This is the first positive cable. Again, make sure you create a connection with a clean cut. So you see the overlength I created, so there will be never stress on the connector. We have the first 2 cables connected. As you can see, it takes only a few minutes. Very easy and rewarding DIY job. You can definitely do it yourself. String 1 is done. I will do string 2 and 3 offline. When I'm finished, I'm coming back to you. All connectors are connected with the combiner box. I have to tidy up the cables, but that's for later. It might start to rain any moment now. But I quickly want to check if I did my homework correctly. So I will measure the voltage. $113, 34 is not the idle one, and the 113 probably not visible for you, but yeah, seems to work fine. The cabling from the combiner box towards the battery shed, luckily I had a small gap here between the roof panels, so I was able to fit the 2 6 square millimeter cables, the combined string, towards the solar charge controller, and an outdoor 12 volt cable, maybe for a LED strip or so, or an alarm. We'll see what we'll do in the future with that. The breaker is switched off. I replaced it as well. I replaced it with the EARU DC breaker. I have the C40 40 amp breaker. And of course I still have to connect the earth. But so far I'm very pleased. It's as I mentioned before, it's an easy DIY job. And if you want more information about this PV combiner box, I made a separate movie about this, and you can find all the information about how to build one yourself. Let's tidy up these cables and then we can call it a day. The tie wraps did the trick, all tidied up. Mounting hardware, €288. As mentioned in the video, I built a DIY combiner box. It's €150. The charge controller from Victron, €350. The second-hand panels, €450, and the cabling about 50. I think you can get the panels cheaper these days. I think it's possible for €300 now. That makes my total of €1,288. For the revenue, I think I will easily make 3,000 kilowatt hours a year. At 30 cents per kilowatt hour, that makes about €900 a year. So with some math, the return on investment is less than 18 months, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion. What do you think? Tomorrow I'll connect to the solar charge controller. Unlike the JK BMS, I will create a cheat sheet where I will go over all the settings, I will give you all my parameters and then you can easily copy paste and configure your own system. Maybe with some small changes, but the basic settings will be okay for most users. Thanks for watching. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and see you soon for another video where we work on these magic blue Victron wonders. This was Frankie for easypowerwall.com.